news and notes from around the league.
Hot cup of tea.
It's in my head now, too. Sounds like a hot cup of tea. All right, let's get into it. Let's talk some news and notes, some updates on injuries and things like that. Texans coach Bill O'Brien said Brian Hoyer is most likely out, so we'll see TJ Yates this week against Indianapolis. Monster game. Is this the Yates-Whitehurst battle for the division?
Wow.
Because it could be, right?
Yes, and it could be Yates for a little bit. Brian Hoyer's worried about all of his brain trauma over there.
So no fingernails are left for T.Y. Hilton owners or DeAndre Hopkins owners?
That is brutal. And you still got to play Hopkins. You don't.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you have to.
I didn't make him this, but Yates is not the worst streaming option. I'm just saying.
Against
A.J. McCarron or T.J. Yates?
They're playing the.
Who's
hold
A.J.
on.
McCarron play this week?
Oh, I thought you were going to say, who is A.J. McCarron?
yeah. Who is? I've never heard of this guy.
Excuse me. I don't have the schedule. I meant to print that out. I forget who Cincinnati plays right at the moment.
That is just ridiculous that you would think that's where I'm going.
No,
I was in the room
as a
with you
joke,
watching
not because you
tape
didn't
on
know.
A.J. McCarron all yesterday.
So the Texans play the Colts, and I would agree with Jason that makes Yates. Let's say you're desperate.
49ers, by the way.
These things happen.
Against 49ers, I actually
It's in San
like it.
Francisco.
I don't care. I like A.J.
Okay.
McCarron.
Yeah,
The 49ers are tough at home.
That's
The 49ers are tough at home. Look up their numbers. I know the public perception is that they stink and they're terrible. At home, they are not bad.
now public perception. Is that the same thing as their record?
Right, record, yeah, that's fine. But you can look up how many points they're giving up.
I will take that matchup. I understand. I understand some of the numbers back up what you're saying. I'm not doubting that. I'm just saying I'll take the matchup against a team that we've seen this with Detroit, bad record, lost the Hail Mary game, kind of seemed like they rolled over last week. Dallas at the end of the game giving up tons of yards on the ground. You don't know when a team's going to give up on their season or not match the intensity level of a playoff team. So, but yeah, it is what it is. So, what's the running back situation in Seattle? Because DeJuan Harris, they signed Bryce Brown. DeJuan Harris ran last week, and then you have Fred Jackson, who we know will not be the every down starter.
So, Coach Pete Carroll, a.k.a. Coach Peach Cobbler.
Yes.
Up there. We know that DeJuan Harris is there. They've just signed Bryce Brown, and allegedly there will be a competition between Bryce Brown and DeJuan Harris to see who's the starting running back.
Andy, who do you think wins that competition? You've been a Thomas Rawls owner. This is something that matters to you. I would imagine that you have been looking at this.
I have meditated on this a little bit.
Yeah, so who do you think is going to win that battle there?
I think Bryce Brown's a knucklehead. And I think Bryce Brown will represent too much risk for Seattle's offense that is succeeding with their passing game. And so I think they will take lower yard per carry numbers and reliability of DeJuan Harris if that's how they feel he's representing himself. Now, we know DeJuan Harris might be a knucklehead too because he's the one who was caught out at the curfew with Lacey. So that being said, I think DeJuan Harris will probably maintain it. Knowledge of the playbook and things like that. But Bryce Brown's the better running back. Let me just get that out there. He's the better actual running back.
Yeah, he's the more explosive guy, but one of the guys is already on or was on the team last week.
Yes.
And that was DeJuan Harris. So
Yes.
that's the guy I would put the money on. However,
doesn't mean you can't sign both of them.
Right. Weird things happen. We just saw a situation in New Orleans where it was Tim Hightower or C.J. Spiller, and Spiller had been the guy who'd been playing most of the year, had that electric overtime catch to win the game, and then it was Tim Hightower. So strange things do happen. But for now, I would. I
would say the difference is
Harris.
that Hightower wasn't already cut by them 2 times this year. You know,
That's fair.
The big reason this matters in Seattle is because the matchup is so incredibly good this week. It's not just a matter of these guys could split carries and both have value this week because of the matchup. So pay attention to that. We will talk about it a lot this week. They'll both be pickups on our waiver wire show or our waiver wire segment today. DeSean Jackson day-to-day with a patella contusion.
Ooh.
ESPN, the report from Adam Schefter is questions about Andrew Luck returning for 2015. I think he is going to play this year. Although, did you see Chuck Pagano's quotes about coming back or not coming back or being fired?
No, I'm very interested in this
Yeah,
because I have my opinions.
We were joking about this.
Hold on. What did he
hear.
actually say?
He said, well, they can't eat you. They can fire you, but they can't eat you. Worst case scenario is I'm playing with my grandkids in this offseason.
So he has accepted the
I feel like there's a
inevitability.
level of acceptance when you're now relating it to being eaten alive. And so you can't – at least I'm not going to be eaten alive.
Yeah, Mike and I were joking yesterday that Pagano was like, Luck, he can't come back, guys. and Andrew Luck's going, no, I'm pretty much ready to come back. He's like, no, you need to rest, please, for my job. And then now Luck comes out and says, no, look, I promise
I'm probably
I will
practicing
play.
on Wednesday.
I'm probably practicing on Wednesday. And then Pagano goes, well, they can't eat me, so that's all right. You can come back.
I mean,
They can't eat me?
yeah.
I mean, that's the opposite. Usually you tell people, hey, eat me.
So which is the better quote of the week? Chuck Pagano saying, you can't eat me,
That's going to be tough to beat.
or Jerry Jones saying that he's not sitting Des Bryant down, but instead they're going to go balls out with Des Bryant.
You gotta
You
go
gotta
eat
eat.
me.
The eat.
Yeah,
Okay.
That is amazing.
that's epic proportion level quote.
All right. TJ Yeldon's status, sprained knee.
there was
Gus
breaking,
Bradley.
There was breaking news.
So do you have some updates there?
You want to hit the button?
Breaking news.
The Jacksonville Jaguars are signing Jonas Gray off the Dolphins practice squad, which, yes, that is a panic alarm for TJ Yeldon's availability this weekend. If they're already making a preparation, as a fantasy owner of TJ Yeldon, I recommend you do the same.
Denard Robinson then.
Denard Robinson.
Thank you for that. Well mispronounced introduction of him.
Love Denard.
NFL Network reports that x-rays were negative on Spencer Ware's ribs. He got knocked out with a rib injury. He's bruised, swollen, and in pain. But at least they haven't eaten him.
That's true. That's always the watermark.
New standard.
Account for cannibals.
I feel really good now. If that's my standard of life, like I'm not being eaten, that's good.
I love
All right.
that. I love that I just said that's the watermark instead of that's the benchmark.
And
Like,
we just passed over it
Yeah.
because we're so used to it.
Yeah, I attack the human language.
This might be a good you do attack the human language. English language is also another way to put it.
Yeah, that was part of the joke.
As opposed to the human language.
That was the joke.
I'm-
I was in on that one.
Okay, so public service announcement from our listeners to you. Players play well. They do not play good.
Well, according to me, I disagree.
Sources say.
Sources say
All
Lamar
right.
Miller played good.
So,
All right, so moving along.
all right. What do we expect from the Luck-Hasselbeck situation this week? Do you expect them both to be out? Or do you expect Hasselbeck to play? Or do you want to just run to the hills?
I mean, the news was they're expecting Hasselbeck. I don't think Andrew Luck will be back this week. So either way, it's not a situation that you're looking into for quarterback. I guess for wide receiver, we saw that Hilton had some success. Moncrief was not great, but he could get it done. So they're not guys that I'm just sitting down because of Hasselbeck. I would still play Hilton, but it would be great if Andrew Luck was back.
Yeah,
All right.
if Andrew Luck comes back, it helps the wide receivers. Otherwise, I'm not sure how much you can actually trust Hilton or Moncrief because they seem to be going back and forth. There's
fair.
not enough production from Hasselbeck to make both of them viable. But we just keep going with whoever did it last week. But that seems to be wrong because every other week it's Moncrief, every other week it's Hilton. So if Hasselbeck's in there, I would hope that I've got other guys I can start at wide receiver.
Two more quick injury reports. Todd Gurley is reportedly fine. Will play Thursday night against the Bucs, according to Jeff Fisher. Also, Legarrette Blount was spotted on crutches with the hip injury, so there's a chance that he is out this week. That could be an uptick for James White. That can be an uptick for Brandon Bolden. Or that could be an uptick for a random player we don't know about yet that will somehow play full-time running back for the Patriots.
And have 300 yards on the
And
ground.
have 300 yards.